Hi, good to see you. Welcome to the podcast. So
Yeah.
this is everyone, this is my cousin. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Of course. Hey everyone. Thanks for watching and yeah, I'm so glad to be here tonight and thanks for inviting me. So, I'm Lisa. I'm a recent college graduate from business school. So, I used to live in New York and now I moved to Bay Area for a while. So, I'm still doing finance, but I feel like just living here in the Silicon Valley. I've been so great to just meeting new friends, either through hiking and then yeah, and so glad to meet a lot of people working in tech. And I'm just naturally super curious about world, and I feel it's how fast-paced the has been changing and revolutionizing. That's just make me naturally so curious. So thanks for inviting me. I'm definitely not an expert about coding or any expertise, but yeah, I'm more than happy to be here sharing how I sharing some insights as someone not working tech. So yeah.
Great. Happy to have you here with us. Dylan's sick, so he's not going to be with us. But yeah, let's get to it. So you mentioned that you were studying finance and business in
Yeah.
college, and
Mhm.
then right now you're working in the investment banking sector in
Yeah.
the Bay Area.
Mhm.
So my curiosity is because you're not working in the AI field, so how come you are so interested in AI, the AI industry? Because it seems I mean, it has a little bit of connection to the business sector, but it's not exactly the field that you're working on.
Yeah, I would say I'm that kind of person that just naturally curious about a world. It's
Hmm?
just yeah, the techniques itself and also the industry trend, or even just when I'm walking around, I'm just so curious about if there's a new restaurant in a downtown nearby, something like that. So I feel I'm just naturally so curious about everything, especially something that's so fast paced and with a lot of uncertainty. So I'm always more than happy to ride on the tide. I'm not working this, but I'm just curious about how things are happening and then happy to talk to more people and then learn more insights. I feel learning itself just keep me so excited. So I definitely won't call myself expert about tech or anything about the techniques itself, but I'm just curious about the industry. And I feel this has a natural connection with what I'm doing right now because investment banking, at the end of the day, the expertise or how we see an industry. And as we've been working in a sector, covering a lot of clients in the sector for so many years, it starts to take more yeah, we start to gain more knowledge about how the sector trends have been going and start to have my personal insights about how we see a specific sector, regardless of which sector is that healthcare, technology, media, telecom, consumer, staples. So, yeah, it's definitely connected with each other.
Sounds good. But
Yeah.
here's my next question though. I've known you for a long time. I've known you since you were 10, right?
Yeah.
Second grade or something like that.
Yeah.
So ever since I mean you went to college and then you started working, but I don't think I don't think I've ever seen you being so enthusiastic about anything as AI. So why AI specifically? So you mentioned you are curious, you want to learn about a lot of different stuff. And I think that's great, but like, it seems AI is on the top of your list and is by far the most has the most interest on you. So what's how's AI different from all these other fields?
I won't say that in that way. I'm just curious of a lot about a lot of things. Probably in my when we know each other personally, I talk a bit more about AI with you just because you are kind of also into AI, but
Oh,
when
okay.
with someone else,
Oh,
I'm also
so
I
it's
was here. Selection bias.
okay.
But speaking about AI, yeah, that's definitely one of the areas I'm very enthusiastic about these days. Just living here and then probably it started everything started probably around my college life because in my earlier years of my college we don't have anything GPT or anything like that, but I start to feel really personally attached about the great impact how these kind of LM GPT foundation model have been really hugely affected the life of college students, and then how we study on a daily basis have been hugely changed because Previously, I was thinking about, oh, that's only for software engineers, that's for engineers' job, right? But I feel it's all the way until, especially GPT has been widely spread out. I feel, oh my God, this is actually changing everyone's life. And now I just cannot live without GPT. I ask GPT a lot of questions, just some random stuff. Either I'm just walking into Home Depot, I'm just not sure which brand I wanna pick for killing ants, right? Just think simply that. So I just cannot imagine. Oh my God, how I would be able to do that previously without these kind of AI. So that's personally attached, but from a professional background, I feel, yeah, just as I mentioned, I work in investment banking. I'm just naturally curious about how a sector has been changing, and especially I feel AI, a lot of people are talking about AI these days, but it's more about there are so many layers from infra, from foundation models, from application. It's just a lot of things going on. I feel the inner complexity and the uncertainty just make me so enthusiastic, if that makes sense.
Okay, great. So that I think is the reason why I think you're the perfect fit for our podcast today. And because
Oh,
last time when we met in person last week, you mentioned that you went to the AI meetup in San
yeah,
Francisco. Am I right?
yeah.
So can I've actually never been to any of those meetups. I went to some of these investments venture capitalist meetups in Palo Alto before AI was a thing, but that was just for the Silicon Valley generic tech meetup. And basically, we have a bunch of startup people presenting ideas, their startup ideas to us, and we decide who to give money to. Is there any difference from that, or is it? Can you tell us a bit about your venture there?
Yeah. Actually, this is my first time ever AI specific or Silicon Valley specific type of event so far. So, yeah, it's also my first time experience. It's called AGI Summit. It's actually, yeah, I just went there. It's a 2 day event, and I just
Okay,
went there like,
AGI stands for
that's a great question. I don't know.
artificial general intelligence.
Oh, really? Okay. Thanks for letting me
Yeah,
know.
so artificial general intelligence is the difference between artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence is AI. Artificial intelligence is a more broader term. So, but it's more specifically referred to artificial intelligence that's built for doing specific thing. But artificial general intelligence is it's a type of AI that's supposedly able to do lots of things. So
Oh,
multiple different types of things.
oh my God. Thanks for
Okay?
the education. I've been
Oh.
to the event and you did not, but yeah, thanks for teaching me a lot.
Okay, so AGI meetups. Okay, who hosted it? Who are the stakeholders? Any of that information?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. I guess it's a not-for-profit, but don't quote me on that one. But I feel it's a summit. It's not that kind of event that you mentioned that you've been before in Palo Alto. I feel it's for investors, it's for engineers, it's for startup founders. It's also for just the general public. Me, I'm just naturally curious. I feel so it's a mix of exhibitions where there are a lot of startups. They have their specific exhibit there. They literally present their ideas or their products, if
So that
that's
part
okay
is kind of similar to my experience.
it's more exhibit while also they have 3 stages with a lot of speakers doing around 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so panelists or presentation, and
Mhm.
then among those speakers it's split. Yeah, the speakers include engineers, a lot of some engineers from OpenAI. They presented about very technique stuff, something like inference, what's going on with inference, and what's the bottleneck here right now to
Okay,
kind
okay.
of look.
What's hold on. What's inference? When I don't know something, I ask the question. I don't pretend to that I don't know. That
Don't
I
quote
do
me
know.
on this. I'm not an engineer, but from my common sense, I feel it's a calculation behind the scene. For instance, after we type a sentence, we type in a question to GPT, and then we hit send, and then inference is the process or the procedures behind the scene that GPT are start thinking about what answer to provide. I think that's calculating or thinking. That's how I interpret that. But don't quote me on this.
Okay, so it's kind of a technical things that's behind the curtain kind of stuff. Something that
Yeah, I feel
happens in the neural network, probably.
yeah, yeah. I would say it's the broader calculation. Yeah, I feel like inference is just the broader calculation behind the scene when when AI is running, when we're
Okay,
asking like
I can look it up real quick. Oh, okay, I got it. So AI inference is the process where a trained machine learning model applies its learned knowledge to new unseen data in real time to make a prediction, decision, or generate an answer.
yeah, yeah, I'm almost there, right? It's just like broader. It's the whole procedures behind the scene after we hit send to GPT before, and then that's how
Okay, so
it
as opposed to
works.
training, which is the studying, inference is kind of like taking the exam.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's when you ask a question, what
Hmm.
happened in the background, and then ChatGPT will return you the answer.
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
I
and
said.
that's inference. Okay, great to know. Great to know.
I'm glad I'm almost there. I'm not way
Great
off.
to know. Yeah. Okay, keep going. What else did the OpenAI engineer talk about?
Yeah, so previously, just based on common sense, right? Just given the AI infra bottleneck about computing capacity, I know inference cost is a huge bottleneck here. Try to that, especially when we're now running out of computing capacity and then data center and the power itself, the AI infra stuff. So I know inference cost itself is a huge bottleneck. So a lot of these frontier labs, they're mainly working on how to try to lower the inference cost a little bit
Makes
while
sense.
also being the answers or without compromising the answers that GPT are providing to us. So I know naturally this is a bump, but this is actually my first time getting to hear, oh my god, a lot of things techniques wise actually take place behind the scene. Inference could be actually categorized into so many categories, and then what's the bottleneck, real bottleneck specifically behind the scene in terms of inference. I know I'm not an engineer, but I'm just
Okay.
happy to the tangible stuff
Okay,
behind the scene.
I think I get it. I think the OpenAI engineers was talking about how to make it more efficient for AI models to give you an answer without compromising the quality of those answers.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very challenging question,
Yeah, of
so
course.
I won't say they're sharing the answer, right? That's
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah. But
that's
it's
what
general industry approach.
yeah,
Yeah.
or just yeah. And so this is on engineer side, right? And then in addition to that, we also see some founders that they start pitching in front of investors.
Okay.
And there are also some private dinner and private lunch that I did not go. But yeah, this is definitely it's just imagine if you were a founder, you definitely want to go and just able to see more investor. And then there's some other panel or presentation that the venture capitalist founder are presenting how to make your startup more attractive, how as a startup founder, how the VC from VC perspective, how the investor evaluate company, how to get more fundraising, right? It's just more education for founder as well. So
Okay.
yeah, I feel like it's just a great mix of startup founders, investors, general public, engineers. So yeah, you can also yeah, even for me, I went there primarily for getting more education about AI itself from a more deep dive about something like inference or something like that. But I was so surprised when I was there, just seeing a lot of so amazing startups. Like some robots can even do kung fu or something. It just as a
Oh,
consumer, it also fascinated me a lot. So that's
oh, okay.
something like it should, and yeah, that's actual surprise to me.
So this is kind of what I call a Silicon Valley culture, right? It's part of the culture. It's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people who new things gathering together, presenting new ideas, meeting each other. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on a
So
side note, this exhibition took place at Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco.
Oh,
I
okay.
personally have never been there, and then the Palace of Fine Arts itself, it fascinated me as well. I was thinking, yeah, I went to San Francisco a lot, but I was not aware there's something really, I don't know, it's a Greek style or Roman style architecture there. And yeah, it's just so nice.
So you mentioned there are engineers from big name AI companies talk about their technical strategies about how to make things better for AI, and then there are also sectors where new pitching their ideas to venture capitalists.
Mhm.
Can you tell us about what is one presentation or any panels or whatnot that you're that impresses you the most?
Yeah, that's a very great question. I'll say there are two main presentations or
Okay.
just two main ideas that fascinate me a little bit. I think the first one is the physics AI.
Physics AI.
Yeah, they invited someone that's known for building AI related truck. So I feel it's still very high level, but it just relates to how AI can be applicable to the surface transportation. And it's also a lot of policy and just government funding or just a lot of regulation stuff behind the scenes. So I would say it's still very early in the stage, but yeah, that's how I found these kind of submit to be so inspiring because
Wait, so
instead
what is oh hold on, tell us what is this physics AI thing? Is it just driving trucks?
I feel like physics AI is a very I'm happy to learn more if you want to Google
Is
that.
this wait, what is this a startup name or what is it?
So physics AI is a conceptual idea of putting AI in all kinds of I would say it's combining AI with all kinds of mechanical engineering stuff. But yeah, I'm happy to learn more because I'm also I first learned about this idea through this event.
Huh, interesting.
So yeah, we can dig more into
So
that.
from the sound of it, I'm guessing has to do with the real physical world.
Exactly. Something like maybe I'm not sure if that
Okay.
counts, but it is. But not just self-driving vehicles, but also trucks with all kinds of maybe even just robotics, right? It just yeah, how the software can be better connected to physical mechanics,
Okay.
either robots
Interesting.
or vehicle. But I'm happy to learn more. So that's how I found these kind of events to be so inspiring because in addition to a lot of the ideas, the inference that people are always been talking about, I'm also able to learn some new ideas I've never heard about before.
Such
Um,
as
the physics AI.
oh, okay. What
Yeah.
is the second thing that fascinated you?
The second thing I would say would be there's a panel that people are talking about if if what's the relationship between foundation model versus those startups, right? Those startups using the foundation model. Because
Okay.
to some extent, they're competing with each other, but on the other side, they're also collaborating a little
Yeah, of
bit. Because,
course.
like, yeah, I feel the idea itself, it's a panel, so there's no right or wrong, but happy to
Mhm.
but yeah, I just got inspired by these questions I got asked to the panelists a little
Okay.
bit. So it just stimulated my thinking without rather than just, oh, I got the answer from that specific panelist.
Mhm.
So yeah, these are some questions that are been challenging and then it's pretty personal. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
What about your thoughts about on these topics?
I feel all these sound very interesting. I'm gonna get back to that a little bit later, but then I think you should take me to one of those meetings next time. We should go together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this about the meetups. Because I know for a fact that in especially Bay Area, there's a lot of Chinese people that's doing AI.
Mhm.
So my question is gonna be how many if you're talking about a ratio, right? How many what's the ratio of Asian looking people that you see in the meetup?
80%, 80%. But there are some non-Asian faces presenting, but most of them are investors. I
Wait,
mean,
you
in
were
that,
talking about the startups.
I mean, overall, just how
Everybody.
everybody I saw there.
80% of them are Asian.
Yeah.
Southeast Asian, right? Not right.
Asian.
Southeast Asian, right? Chinese, Japan, Korea,
Indian.
or Philippines, or Malaysia,
Indian. Yeah.
Indonesian. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. 80%.
That crazy? I thought it's I'm not sure because I'm never working tech, so I thought that's normal.
Because I was thinking, but does that include Indian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You do include Indian. So how many Indians? How many Indians? I'm curious.
Actually, not a lot. I mostly see Chinese people.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And like more, I would say most of them are first generation Chinese people.
First generation Chinese people. People who came from China
First gen, yeah.
instead of being born here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting to me because that.
Yeah, I'm just I can tell from how they pronounce.
Okay.
From their pronunciation, but yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, so yeah, I think that's interesting, right? Because I worked in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley for about a decade. And I know that during the dot-com area, right? The dot-com area started in the 2000s, lasted for about 20 years. And I don't think right now we call it the dot-com era. Right now it's the AI era, right? So during that time, Indians are the main force, right? There's a lot of Indian people, but I'm very surprised to hear. Not surprised, but I know this is the case. But I'm just fascinated by the fact that there's more Chinese people that's working in AI, not a lot of Indians.
Well, this might be a selection bias as well. What if this event just more popular among Chinese people, among Chinese community? Because I heard about this event just through the Chinese social media.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I won't strictly generalize that like into this is a proportion of people working in AI. It just probably critical thinking. Maybe just this event, maybe it helped by Chinese people, or it's just more popular. But
Maybe.
Overall, the investor side is definitely more diverse. It makes sense. Just from the engineer perspective, the engineer community might be more Chinese heavy, where from the finance perspective, the community is just a bit more diverse.
I mentioned this because right now we do this podcast every week, and it seems there's a major news from China related to AI every single week, right? So this last week, there's a new model called model that's provided by a Chinese startup called Moonshot. And the founder is someone who used to work for in the Silicon Valley also graduated from Tsinghua University. So what's special about this model is that its performance-wise is number 3, right behind Fable and ChatGPT 5.6.
What do you define performance?
Because as in there's a bunch of technical benchmarks where they give you a bunch of problems, and then they expect the model to write the code for you and maybe generate a app for you, and then you have a bunch of criteria, right? And you rate it based on a bunch of criteria, right? So how good the app looks, how useful it looks, is it a one-shot success, that kind of stuff, right? They have a bunch of technical tests for the AI to give it a final score. So it's really close to the top contenders, but its price is 1/2 of ChatGPT and 1/3 of Claude. And a lot of startups in America are adopting this model because it's so cheap.
It's mainly a pricing advantage.
Yeah, and you're not sacrificing too much quality, right? You're sacrificing a little bit quality, but you're saving 60% of the cost.
Oh, that's good to know. That made me start wondering, right? So if that's the case, okay. I mean, when a frontier model has been firstly emerging has been first introduced to the market, getting a lower price is definitely a smart way to just attract new customers, given you definitely want them to switch, but people are naturally reluctant to switch to a model unless you have a more attractive price. But over time, given the quality and given the inference cost, you need to run the models, right?
Yeah. Because for startups, pricing is also very important for them, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm okay with just making it up, making something using this model. I mean, I don't need the top quality tool for that, but if I can
Mm.
save 60% of the cost, then why not, right? So I think that's
And
what
how be
American
profitable?
models need to think about.
Hmm. How can they be
I
profitable
don't
at the
know.
end
I
of
don't
the day?
know. I don't think unless they want to be. I mean, they'll have to be significantly better, right? If American models are significantly better, if they're 100% better, maybe people will choose that over the cheaper models. But if they're just 10% better, then 3 times the price, then I don't think there's a way for them to compete.
Yeah, that's a great question because that's how, as we've been observing, how GPT has been started introduce ads earlier this
Oh,
year, try to gain more revenue. Previously, it's ads free, and then I feel yeah earlier this year when I was reading the news, it's almost 900 million GPT user active
mhm.
weekly active GPT user that are not paying at all, but they're
Right.
running all those tokens and
Yeah.
then use a lot inference costs. They're literally burning GPT as cost
Right.
without. It's just yeah, it's just a free rider. So I
Right.
think internet ads is definitely a way to
So
gain
they
more
need to
revenue.
think about their business model a little bit
Yeah,
more.
that's why what I've been wondering after you said, oh my god, this model has been the quality wise is great, but the price is much lower. That
Right.
start
Right.
you
So
wondering.
that's definitely something that they need to think about in order to compete.
Yeah, time using something new.
Oh yeah, I think that's great. I want to come back to the meetup. I want to ask you this: in all of those discussions and panels, is there any discussion about the safety of AI?
I think so, but not like it's a very dedicated topic. Whole 30 minutes are dedicated to talk about that. I think it's more something we need to think about, take into consideration for all the decisions the industry has been doing.
Okay, I'm gonna
So.
take that as a no.
Yeah, I
Okay,
guess, or I missed that, but yeah, I maybe it just the summit itself is more for either engineers, right, from the techniques perspective, or
sure.
from the founder or investor perspective.
Okay.
But risk control is definitely important.
Yeah, but here's my perspective on this. Okay, so I'm an engineer. I'm enthusiastic about all tech related stuff, AI included. However, because I know how fast that we're developing AI and where we're going and the pace that we're going towards that end, I know that our society is just not ready for this thing to develop at such pace. So there's a concept I recently learned about that's called a superintelligence. It's so right now, right? As ChatGPT, if you ask a question, it can give you an answer, right? It will search the internet for you and it will give you an answer, right? But that's not the goal that we're developing AI on, right? The goal that every company right now is doing is to a point where AI research can be automated by AI itself.
Oh, oh my god, I think this is one of the topics from that event.
Okay,
It's
and
like learning, right?
yeah,
And,
recursive
and
learning.
recursive learning, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what did they talk about there about this topic?
I mean, it's pretty high level, just introducing. I think it's someone called Xiao. I know he's so famous here in Silicon Valley. He used
Okay.
to be a scientist or something in Meta, and then he quit. Yeah, his last name is Tian, but I forgot his
Okay,
name
what was the thing that they talked about?
because after quitting Meta, he's been dedicated to doing recursive AI learning, so
Okay,
that
so
it
this person is the one that's driving this thing.
that's driving this thing.
Okay.
And then he started, I think he founded a startup, but don't quote me on this. He founded a startup doing this, but it's still pretty high level, just thinking about why this works. Whereas I'm start thinking about because another concept is human in the loop learning
Okay.
training.
My opinion on this is that this is dangerous.
Mm.
This
Okay.
is dangerous. So but nobody can stop it.
You mean AI learn by its own product?
So here's the thing, right? And AI learning by its own is not a problem. It's the human incentive is the problem. Because all these big companies, OpenAI, Google, SpaceX, Anthropic, they're all doing similar researches on AI, and it's inevitable. It's eventually we'll get there. And right now the forecast is 2027, and that's that's the median. Okay, so it could be earlier, could be later, but the median is estimate is 2027. So next year we're gonna have an AI that drives self research on its own. Okay,
What?
and I mean it's exciting. However, here's a problem about this type of AI. We call it a superintelligence because it's gonna improve upon itself without human interference. Okay, so it's gonna be better. Eventually it's gonna be better at doing everything than any human can do. And by everything I mean everything.
I don't think so. If we think AI is dumb, then regardless of how hard it learned from its own, how came it's better than human?
Because right now it's already better than human at a bunch of things, right? AI, even at the right now, right? We had ChatGPT in 2023, only a couple of years, and we already have language models that can write code better than, right? And it's able to write essays better than most people. I would say, because when I write email, I use AI to help me.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
It's able to draw, right? So it's better. It's better. It's already really good at a lot of things. But if you enable the self-recursive improvement, there's no limit how good it can be at doing everything, because it will keep getting better.
I partially agree. I don't think this problem has a direct relationship, but it's directly related to if AI learn from itself versus AI learn from human interference, right? I feel AI is writing essay than me. It's because I'm not an essay writer. I'm not a professional essay writer. But still, in this world right now, there are professional novelists, journalists. They write better than that's what I would say. And right, and then as a recent college graduate doing software engineer, okay, Cloud Code might be writing coding better than that engineer. That doesn't mean Cloud Code is coding better than all engineers, right? So
right, but here's the thing: it doesn't need to be better. It doesn't need to be number one at everything. But it's really, really good at doing a whole bunch of stuff that where it used to require a person. Okay, so in the future, let's imagine 5 years from now, right, 2021 or 2030, right, using AI is so cheap that all human jobs are gone.
I think so. Just imagine, right? AI is still not the number one in essay writing, right? That's why we still need human in a loop. Let's say we can hire a professional journalist, novelist that can train the model to be better at writing novel in journal, right?
But if you think about it this way, right? I mean, think about in the future, our next generation. And they grow up, they go to college, they're saying, hey, Dad, what should I study? What should I tell my son? Study coding, Daddy? AI can do it better for you than you. What do you study it for? It's studying blacksmith.
I was studying, I might be personally biased, but maybe studying finance, because this is a client-facing job. You need to...
But here's the thing, though. You're still thinking about the industry as of 2026. The industry in the future, 10 years, 20 years from now, there's no more clients, because all of your clients' jobs, they're all being replaced by AI.
I disagree. I feel a lot of execution stuff can be replaced, but at the end of the day, the face-to-face interaction between humans matters a lot. For instance, for me right now, right, we are a client-facing job. So, but we're also embracing for AI use, right? We use AI for execution, for getting a lot of inspiration on the materials we present in front clients. But at the end of the day, it's AI is helping us more for execution, but it's the ideas.
Okay, when you talk about execution, can you tell me what execution is? Specifically, what are your clients? Give me an example. You don't have to go to the specific. I'll give you an example.
Right, a more streamlined process of getting the PowerPoint pages down. I would say it's more automation, right? So we got the numbers, but previously it might took me over an hour to get these numbers to the PowerPoint, but now, yeah, it's just a more streamlined process to be more automated. But at the end of the day, we got a lot of new ideas about what to present in front of client from human itself, right? Because when we are talking to client, you just start thinking about how to be more creative. And I feel it's an idea generation that matters a lot that AI cannot replace. And
But
also
okay,
idea generation, and then we use a so the first step is idea generation by talking to client, talking to a lot of clients, and then we may use AI to help us automate a little bit so that we can have the materials to put our idea into a groundwork so
okay,
that we have a PowerPoint or deliverable. And then I think this part is where AI can help us a lot. But step three, it's also human intervention. So we present using this material, right? We are presenting to client. I feel like it's just same as how I'm talking to you right now. This kind of enthusiasm, this kind of real face-to-face human interaction, I think that's something AI cannot replace.
okay. So that is your opinion,
Yeah,
and
I'm right or wrong.
super intelligence is so good at doing everything that I'm saying there will be a point where it can.
Okay.
Okay? So here's the thing,
Oh,
right? Here's the thing. We're humans. We're humans. And humans have a limit, a lifespan, right? Of how long we can live. It's around 100 years, give or take, right? Give or take a few decades, right? Even though let's imagine this person who spends his whole lifetime improving on one thing. There is an upper limit of how good they can be.
Mhm.
AI is different. Super intelligence is different. I'm saying there is no limit of how good it can get at doing one thing. So let's say deepfake. Right now, you can still tell if something's deepfake or not, but it will get better. My argument is that it will keep getting better. And there will be a time in the future, I don't know, 1 decade or 2 decades or 3 decades, 100 years, there will be a time where it can realistically replace human on pretty much everything. Think about your clients. Your clients, they're probably a decision maker in a company,
Yeah.
right? Here's the thing. When AI gets good enough, it makes all these better, it makes decisions better than human on doing all these decisions. So AI will eventually run these companies.
Disagree. I feel at least from a GPT user's perspective, right? I'm using GPT, but I never rely on their decision. I got inspired, I would say, from
Okay.
GPT, but I never rely on it. So I feel like it's more about how people think about those decision or those answer you got from AI, right?
Right,
And
but
process.
what I'm talking about is super intelligence, though. Super intelligence is not ChatGPT. Super intelligence is essentially another type of organism. It's another species. Right now, we are humans. We're Homo sapiens.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a book by Noah Harari, right? Homo Deus, right? Homo Deus. When he wrote that book, Homo Deus was just a concept. But I'm predicting that Homo Deus is actually super intelligence. A super intelligence can gain access to everything. They can gain access to the government, they can gain access to the banks, and they will eventually live on the internet as an organism. And they can pretty much do everything they want. And there's no stopping them.
Okay. That's wild.
And there will be companies that are run exclusively by AI, by super intelligence. I'm not saying anything about current companies. I don't know if Google will ever, I don't know if Elon Musk will ever let go of the company to AIs, but that's something, right? But eventually humans, this generation will die out, right? And because super intelligence is better at doing everything, they'll just eventually run the government and they'll eventually run the companies while they'll replace the economy. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Wow. That's your opinion. Thanks for sharing.
It is not just my opinion. It's also the opinion of
Okay.
The founder, there was someone who's been researching in the 1960s or 1970s. Godfather. I forgot his name, but you should read up on their latest lectures. I think this is a very important thing to think about because right now the AI companies that are doing research on recursive AI research, the way that they're thinking about, because they all know that AI is dangerous, but they also know that the other companies are doing it. So they all want to be the first one to do it so that they have control. You see how this works? Right? You wanna slow it down, but because that other people are doing it fast, you want to be faster than them, right? So it's kind of a dilemma, right? I don't blame them for doing it because if I was in their shoes, I would do the same, right? So yeah, I think this is gonna be bad.
I don't know. I mean, thanks for sharing. I will say I cannot completely agree with this
Okay.
viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, because I fear for my next generation and the next generation's next generation.
Yeah.
I think we're creating something that we're not ready for. Our society is not ready for. I'm sorry for being pessimistic.
Yeah, I'm a bit more optimistic. I feel it's for making our life better, not for
Yeah,
replacing.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope you're right.
Yeah, just these kind of AI stuff right now, I think instead of just replacing our repetitive work itself right now, instead, I would say it's more revolutionizing and improving our quality of life. Mm.
I definitely with you there, right? So I do acknowledge the potential of AI, and I'm just saying that we're developing it in a pace that we're not ready for. Our society is not ready for.
We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've been talking for an hour. This is the longest episode so far. Sorry
Really?
to end it in such a pessimistic note.
Yeah.
But I feel this is the message I have to deliver to my audience.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I know we've been knowing each other for so many years. This is actually my first time knowing you're so pessimistic about AI.
I'm not it's not that
Okay.
I'm pessimistic. It's that I know that this is I mean, when I said this doesn't make sense to you.
I mean, conceptually it makes sense, but I don't agree on everything.
You don't agree. So you don't agree on which part? Which part of my argument does not make sense to you or sounds false to you?
I feel it's AI can do everything better than human or
Okay, I'm not talking about ChatGPT, okay? I'm talking about superintelligence. I'm talking about the future, 10 years later.
I know. Maybe kind of mindset, right? I'm that kind of person that won't trust anything, that won't hold a strong opinion of something that's very up in the air.
Okay. I'm going to send you a video and you should watch it. But I think we're due for the end of the episode. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's great to talk to you, and maybe we'll have another episode. I'll invite you again to the podcast. Yeah.
Thanks for inviting. It's my honor to be the speaker of the longest episode so far.
Yeah, we had the best conversations.
I'm just having so many fluffy words, a bit too talkative.
No, that's fine. That's great. All right.
Oh, awesome. Bye.
Okay.